August has flown by in a blur of activity here in Ohio. This may be my final post as an artist resident with Artist Strong. However, there is still much more to come with the project I've been sharing and my work in general. Last week, I ended on a hopeful note, saying that I might have a finished piece to share, and if not, at least a bit of progress toward the end of the messy middle. I also shared the three words that summed up my father's values: faith, family, and friends. During the past week, progress with my art has taken a backseat to spending time with my family. My grandsons live in another state and play travel baseball in the summer. Last spring, my husband and I planned a few mini vacations to watch each of them play in tournaments that were within a few hours' drive of our home. So off we went, this time to explore the Lake Erie beaches on Presque Isle in between baseball games in Erie. I now have a collection of Lake Erie lighthouse photos from our trips to Sandusky and Erie. Could be a few paintings in the works really soon. Before we left, I was working on a few backgrounds for this mixed media cyanotype project that I'm working on. I knew I wanted to have the idea of time passing along with family tradition, and I found these perfect stencils on Amazon that I can use in a lot of different ways as I'm working on this project. In between, when I can't find something that's quite working for me, I've been using them to make small pieces like this that I can use later as part of the collages. And I've also been playing around with rust printing, another interesting technique that I've been combining with my cyanotype mixed media projects. The yellow, orange, and reddish colors of rust prints combine really well, I think, with the blues of cyanotype papers. I also have these printable images that I found over a year ago from Victoria Designs on Etsy. And they're perfect for printing out, cutting apart, and using with my time travel kind of project. I can even alter the colors in Photoshop and use them to get that cyanotype blue. Gold and copper are my favorite metallic paints to use in a project like this. I like the Liquitex heavy body acrylics, and I have these watercolors. It's Jack Richardson semi-moist metallic watercolors. And then from the Dharma Trading Company, I buy this, it's called Gouda, I think that's the correct pronunciation. I love to use these for outlining and small detailing because they have a really tiny little tip. And it's an acrylic that is used in silk painting, but it comes in really handy for doing it on this. And then I'll probably use a little bit of white gel pen to add detailing and text to my project. Since we returned home from our travels, we've had some sunny days, and I've been able to make a few more thumbnail cyanotype photos to add to my journal for this project. Making the negatives from some of the sepia and color photos was a challenge. As you can see here, I thought I would give a try to the fact that they came out kind of blue in the negative. Didn't work at all, so I had to go back in. I used Photoshop Express for changing things on my phone quickly, and I had to darken everything quite a bit in order to get enough contrast to make good cyanotype prints for my journal. But I did get a kind of neat background out of the deal. I took one of the prints that was way too light, that didn't come out good. I brushed some more cyanotype sensitizer solution over it, placed the stencil on top, and I got some really neat effects, especially right here. This image of my grandmother as a young woman came through in the clock, and I really like that look, and I'll probably incorporate that somewhere in this project. Some of the others are much fainter, but they do add a nice extra layer of texture and pattern to these images. My art journal is still a work in progress, along with everything else, but I now have enough to get started on this collection. I also have a little bit more motivation to keep going and not procrastinate. I'm a member of the Miamisburg Art Gallery, where we have the option to show our work in themed exhibits several times a year. The upcoming theme for September is Friends and Family, so I need to get to work on this one sooner rather than later so that I can include it. Thank you so much for coming along on this creative journey with me. If you're interested in cyanotypes and learning more about them, I do have some tutorials on my YouTube channel, and there are also many talented cyanotype artists out there for you to learn a variety of techniques from. I am planning another tutorial to share the process that I use for creating the photography cyanotypes. That may take a little while as I have a lot of other things going on right now, but hopefully in the next week or two, that will be available. If you follow me on Instagram, that's a good way to get updates on those sorts of things. But above all, thank you so much for just sharing this journey with me. And I hope you'll continue following along with Artist Strong over the coming months. I don't know who the September artists are going to be, but I'm sure they're going to be amazing.